All right, so let's get started. So really fun to hang out today. A lot of really cool updates. I want to go through some of the questions you guys had, as well as kind of talk a bit about some of the next plans with Animira. I want to start off by saying that we've done some pretty cool partnerships and collaborations in the past, and we are continuing to do some of that. You can see like our friends from Bbots with Seth Green is minting right now. Just had an AMA with Neo Tokyo. As well, we have the in-house partnerships with Virtually Human, with Zedrun, some pretty cool stuff we have already planned. And there's a few others that are more mainstream. So stuff like the Atari levels that we're planning right now that we can't disclose just yet, but very excited to continue that growth. As well, like as you can see, we've added an outreach channel on the bottom of our Discord. This is kind of a section for you guys to start helping us with collaborations. We have a really strong collaboration team that we're setting up to ongoingly reward our current holders. So that's all really exciting stuff. Also want to highlight in the last few weeks, we've done some pretty interesting Discord events. We've done some Rumble and Kartik. A lot of people show up and it's been a lot of fun. But we want to build out some more meaningful Discord integrations for our NFT holders. So stay on the lookout for new updates regarding that. Animira will be kind of like taking a role in how we do our Discord giveaways and other such events in the future. As for upcoming Twitter Spaces, I'm working on something with Andrew. His like last name, it's like Andrew.eth or something. Him and Seth Green we're planning to do an AMA sometime very shortly. Mostly on the CC0 and some technology that we're building behind Animira to grow out how we're building out new NFTs. We're also doing a Twitter space with Ariel. Ariel is our partner that does our carbon offsets, which means that Animira is carbon neutral. All our NFTs that were minted are offset completely. And we're also restoring kelp and mangrove trees in parts of the world with our partnership. We'll be talking more about that next week. As well, there's some really cool mainstream partnerships that we're doing with them in terms of like restoring ocean projects, donating to wildlife. So stay tuned for those as well next week. All right.
Have upcoming Twitter Spaces with our VHS founder Chris Ebbs next week, and so a lot of the community members we've noticed have been asking questions about VHS and who is like the team that backs us. So stay tuned for that because you'll actually get to learn more about Virtually Human, and they're super duper cool. So hi.
Yeah, I don't really do enough to highlight them, but there are over 100 of us around the world. We have an animation studio. We've built we've helped out with the Elvis movie, some of the Avengers. So we have a really cool team that's behind us. As well as world-class investors, as you know, like the Churning Group and A16Z. I've been talking to them a lot in development of Animira. So we'll try to highlight more about that, and you guys can ask those questions. We'd be really happy to answer those. In regards to the game, so right now I'm just showing you guys Loop Hero because it's a really cool auto battler that is very different from every other game. We think that a lot of the P2E games that have been spinning up in the last year have not had that much depth. I just want to show you guys we're going for a lot of depth into what we're trying to build. I'm going to show some screenshots of some of our concepts. So this is kind of a very early mock-up of how the loop would work with hexagon tiles, health, equipments. This is all being built in Unity. We also wanted to NFT this, make this more Web3. So what do cards, what do equipments look like as NFTs? How do you transfer them to your wallet seamlessly? We don't want to have transaction pop-ups as we play the game because no one likes that. I think that when we have an app on the app stores, we have something in Epic Games, people would not even know this is a blockchain game. In essence, they can sign up without a wallet. They can play the game. They might want to buy in, and this provides a great opportunity for people to get in without having so much fear of crypto and the lack of knowledge as well. Where do I start? So Loop Hero is very, very complex as a game. We've been trying to build out what that looks like to have in-game tutorials. We decided that maybe we try to make it seem simpler for our first prototypes. But just as some screenshots about the intro, what we're looking at, the inner dialogue, I think that's all really important. A lot of crypto games, they kind of jump the gun, build this game that you jump in, you have to read a bunch of documentation. But we want to make this as intuitive as possible. That doesn't mean that the game is very simple. Like we actually like really thought about like, this is a sneak peek about like all the afflictions of the characters. So you might have like special regen bonuses. Attribute might be like armored, so they're very tanky. So these are just some of the concepts we were brainstorming that's programmed in their game early on. We want to talk a bit about how monsters can spawn from basic colossal to cosmic. So you might have random encounters, and the further you get into the game, the harder the monsters get. So that's kind of like some really cool ideas that we're thinking about. And obviously everyone really cares about what is earning. So we spent a lot of time brainstorming earning mechanics. What's like real, what people want. Do people want NFTs, tokens? Do people want off-chain tokens? And if off-chain tokens, how do they work and how they make you earn more? So those are all the things we're thinking about. As well, we're a very public company, so we need to think a lot about the legal implications. So this is kind of like a brainstorm of like some of the things we're thinking about. As well, it's important to make a distinction between free-to-play versus like a fair game, because a lot of games are pay to win. We don't really want that. We want a smooth experience where people can catch up. And we also want to reward NFT holders. So that's a kind of a really hard problem to solve. Yeah. And so now I'm going to spend a bit of time to walk through some really cool stuff that I've been working on with our tokenomics modeling. So this here is a very, very elaborate machination demo about modeling how players can earn inside the game, what they can spend from resources, what they can, how far they get, and then what they can earn by spending. So right now this is modeled after a free-to-play player. Something in the game is basically you can fight monsters, you get gold, which is kind of like the off-chain thing. Like when you're in a game, you might get gold to spend on like skills, upgrade your talent tree. So those are the types of things that make you stronger in the game, make you get further. Point of the game is to get as far as you can and be very strategic in when you retreat. And if you're strong enough, you might make it to the end, fight the boss, and earn an equipment loot. So this kind of models how that looks like. I can probably increase the speed here. Yeah, so you can see like going through stage 1, you have a 60% chance. Every time you go through, you earn some gold. And then if you die, you don't get that gold, but you get maybe a fraction of it. And you can spend that gold to upgrade your skills so that the next run you're stronger. And as you can see, the win rate increases as you spend your gold to increase your skills, you get further. Basically, like you also want to start earning stuff like NFTs and equipments. And then if you get really far in the game, so this guy right now, he's gotten 1 perk from spending gold. But now let's see what this looks like if you're actually like a paying player by holding an NFT. So on 50 runs, you can see this guy statistically will get further and further into the game with the more like NFTs they hold. So Animura is going to be the first NFT that allows for some perks like this. So you can see they're earning card NFTs, equipment NFTs, and perks. They're making it past the early stages and getting to the boss battle. So you can see like now, like after 3 days of playing, after 40 runs, you get you've unlocked so many NFTs and perks as well. So yeah, this is just something we're modeling out right now. We think this is really cool. We've taken some inspiration from a lot of cool top free-to-play games from mobile. We have a world-class designer that's made some App Store games that have over 50 million downloads. So this is kind of like working alongside those experts in the industry, because we think games right now are just too fast that they're not thinking about the long-term scalability. We can't make another Axie clone right now because we know that that's not going to sell anymore. So we want to make a really cool, meaningful game. All right. So that's more so about the game. And as you can see, there's a few types of NFTs that I've mentioned here. One of them being equipment NFTs. So that's a thing that I want to announce that we're working on next. Equipments are something that you can swap out on your Animura. You can have more legendary claws that you acquire from the game, equip them to your Animura, and now your character becomes more powerful. How they work in the game will be kind of described a bit later. But you can see from our modeling that it should make you more powerful in the game. It should increase your win chances, as well. Like there's seasonal balances that will occur. I also want to shout out to Yoisa for making a Mystery Bowl leaderboard that is functional here. I'll post this link in a bit. And I know there's a lot of people dying to know like what's the secret of the Mystery Bowl. I have some stuff planned. Today I'll just tell you guys that there's some, we have some special dates in mind. So October 2nd, we'll be going in depth about how the Starfish mechanic works. But as you guys have guessed, the Starfish and Mystery Bowls function as a factory NFT. So we will be producing more NFTs from the Mystery Bowl. That is something that we are working on right now. I'll tell more about that on October 2nd on the exact relationship. But rest assured, like Mystery Bowls are going to be valuable. The NFTs, the Animura NFTs are very valuable to play the game. And I also want to say like we're also thinking of like creating more factory NFTs. Maybe the Animura NFT is a factory itself. Obviously, we don't want to produce so much Animura Genesis that we devalue the collection. So stuff that is upcoming from the Mystery Bowl, they won't be more Genesis Animura NFTs. Last clue that I'll hint at is Mystery Bowls are more valuable the longer you hold them. I think that's kind of like really given with all the speculation and all the notes that people have said. But yeah, just wait till October 2nd and you'll hear more about our exact mechanics. Keep in mind that's an important date. And then on October 5th, we'll be revealing some of our next drops, how that's going to work. Yeah, that's pretty much it on the Starfish and Mystery Bowl side. If anyone wants to ask any questions, feel free to just drop it in the lounge chat now. Yeah, you can sort the Starfish, lowest to highest. We do want to reward all holders. So obviously, people who've held it longer are more loyal. So we'll talk more about that later on. Chloe asks, like, any specific hurdles you guys are dealing with? Questions from the community. Any hurdles? Well, honestly, we just had such a great reception for Animura at the start. We couldn't have hoped for a better launch, especially in these market conditions. So yeah, living up to those expectations now is really real. We are making sure that we're building everything world-class. Like we have a world-class team with Virtually Human. So making sure that everything's well-tested now. We know that we have the audience now. So those are very like tough things. Like we pulled the game demo from being released like this month because we didn't think it would hit the bar that we wanted to set for ourselves. Like honestly, guys, it's completely like working already. It's just that it's not at the quality of what you guys deserve.
This is someone who didn't truly understand the depth of building a video game. It is a massive undertaking. It is a slow process, but honestly, very, very rewarding process. And we literally have been looking at every single detail. Like we looked at every detail and so much effort into our NFTs and just putting equal amounts of effort into the game development ourselves. And on like the writing creative side, I'm working with the Blind Links, aka Daniel, to make sure all of the questions, it's super thorough and all the characters are well built out and it all makes sense across all the seasons. It's just, and that's only one component that I'm working on, notwithstanding the tech side, the dev side, the creative asset side. Like, it's a lot, guys.
Yeah, some other questions. Quality control, battle royale. Yeah, we're actually thinking about some battle royale options. I literally talked to Zern about this just before this. I love Rumble, how fast it can be played. But imagine if like Rumble could be played with your NFTs. I understand a lot of people are in Discord. They like these Discord games. So we want to create more experiences just like that. Um, Pedron Pedroponics asked, like, is there an interaction between VHS and the core team on a daily basis? Absolutely. So we have the same partnership team, the ones that have been reaching out to like Netflix, NASCAR. The big, honestly, like one of the things like is challenging is that we're very different from all the other titles at VHS. Human Park is more of a metaverse play. Zed Run is more of like horse racing. So it makes sense for them to like, partner with like Budweiser and NASCAR. We could partner with those people too in the future. We just kind of have to work on like what that relationship looks like that is good for both of us, you know. That being said, we also reach out to things that are related to us. Like Atari was a perfect example, reaching out to get some names just as well known as them. There's one that we're negotiating that I'm very excited about. That I can't confirm yet, but yeah, think along the lines more of like Atari that we're trying to target. Yeah, pretty much just hold the bull, guys. That's all you have to do to get involved. It's you might miss out some of the really early rewards. You'll get some rewards no matter what, but long term, we kind of like equalize over time. Something that I've kind of been researching is like how long like games like Axie took to take off. I believe they developed for like 3 years, and then a lot of people just started copying them. We know that format doesn't work anymore. We're not going to take 3 years. We've already spent a year building Animura. And we've learned about what changes. We're really respective of the meta. It's very nice to hear the article yesterday about the factory NFT becoming the new meta for P2E. So we are trying our best to meet that meta. Yeah, I actually like the term factory NFT. It's very different because it is kind of like my vision of it. I didn't call it a factory NFT. I pictured it as something that I hate when you lose an NFT for no reason. But if it can keep rewarding you, I think that it makes complete sense to me. How do you bridge the gap between now and release to maintain the enthusiasm of the community? To be honest, I think we're at a really good point in the bear market. We're so low in terms of where I think we're going to head that we people know that this is a long-term investment, and I really love that. That being said, like we're reading into the community. We know what's upcoming. We're trying to get those partnerships that mean a lot at the start. Our equipment NFTs, they're almost ready to go. So we'll be like announcing partnerships with those. We have really great ones already that we're already leveraging. And as well, like we just want to really honor this community that we have right now. I think at our size right now, it's a very manageable one. We want to make sure you guys love everything before we start releasing to the mass world.
And just we really want to, create a calendar of exciting events for Discord. So we're all workshopping various ideas. We do want to, provide value and education, which is why we're having the upcoming Twitter Spaces with Ariel. We want to discuss the sustainability aspect of our game, which is really important to everyone on the team. And honestly, we're just very authentic. I think you can't get any more authentic now, and I feel like that is what resonates with our community. So we're just gonna keep doing what we do best.
So there's also some other questions. Will there be other networks to play the game for NFTs? Yeah, so we are looking to make some really big partnerships on different blockchains. We're looking to gives us the one that gives us the best incentive. I know what you guys care about. Like a lot of people care about like announcing like $1 billion fund or something. So we want to work on some of the blockchains to give us some big exposure as well. It is a big deal to us because we want to go where things are becoming popular. Yosef asks, is the game automatic or would we be able to influence it? So the goal is that you don't have to play it like so much time and do it like every single day. I think nowadays the trend is to play a little bit. Think of like Clash of the Clans. You could play a lot, or you can just like set on autopilot. So there's something for everyone that whether you're casual or hardcore. Do you have QA QC teams that internal that will test before release to public? Yeah. So one of the really cool things that is available because like we created Zrun. We have a lot of cool gaming guilds with thousands and thousands of players. They're very interested to play Animero. So we have a really cool internal system to do that. So we'll be talking to like the guild leaders, stuff like YGG, Perion, just to like get some feedback. As well, they're actually helping us build the game. Believe it or not, they're very interested in building tools to connect without a wallet, custodial wallets, which means that like the wallets are owned on our side until the user is ready to make their own wallet. This makes it easier for new gamers to come in. Are you going to have external branded equipment NFTs, collections, and brands? That is a really cool question. I already am thinking about that. There is a plan for that. How come people without marketing need healthy volume? Is it an idle game? It can be played as an idle game, yes. The more you participate, the more you think strategically, the better you can get. We'll also be thinking of stuff like lending. Lending offers the ability to allow someone to play for you. So like if you're very lazy, you want to just stake your NFT and let someone that's a pro play, that might be something on the table. That's something so big in a lot of P2E space right now. I don't want to be completely like building something that feels more as an investment vehicle. So we'll be working on making this a really gamified factor. When you're asking how you place cards influence what enemies you get, and that will influence what they drop. Yeah, so basically you place cards on the map. You might spot on more monsters. You might get a bonus like health or something that makes you stronger. So cards can do anything, really. They are kind of like a utility character or piece, I guess. I don't know what to call it. Scholarship program. Yeah, so we know how effective the scholarship program worked. Basically, it's a really cool referral model that got people to share in earnings, and thus why wouldn't you want to get a scholarship? But there is kind of a negative stigma to it that I kind of want to avoid, is that it kind of feels like slave labor to me sometimes. I wanted to create it more as like a gaming experience that you're working together as a team. So like a clan or a guild in an MMO, that's what it's supposed to feel like. That's what we're trying to build. Will community members be able to make a game mode in Animura? Yeah, we want to create more SDKs. I'm really toying the fact how you can add CC0 into Animura. Something that I'm really thinking about is, like, again, with the equipments, the ability to create your own equipments one day. We can't just like have you create like something like poop NFTs that equip to the Animura and then destroys our brand. So we're looking for a creative way to solve that problem. But yeah, there could be some creative ways to do this regarding maybe like a DAO system. As well, like, we want to have like equipments that have meaningful impact in the game. So we have to describe, we have to talk to our lore team how those items can fit in. I did not know about that poop stick.
I also did not know about. Yeah, so the biggest thing that we're trying to do is we're genuinely creating a game that's fun. That's why we really want to focus on that collaborative, that team, like working together versus, people in developing countries having to play the game in order to live. Like, we're really not about that model in the slightest, and that's something that's very to the team, also just to Long himself, because that's something he's mentioned like actively wanting to do for a very long time.
Yeah, Pedroponics asks, like, we don't want it to be an investment vehicle, but that's what the reality is. So I completely agree with that people do treat this as an investment vehicle. There can be an opportunity for both gamers and as an investment vehicle. I want to create that reality. I think there is a model. That's what we're trying to work towards. Free-to-play players, they don't want to like pay thousands of dollars. They just want to pay maybe $10 to $15 a week. I think that's very reasonable. You get enjoyment out of the game as a reward, as well as some NFTs. That's a win for both sides. Is there going to be a leaderboard of some sort? Yeah, there already is with what you always have created. But yeah, there'll be more of this type of stuff. We're working on a partnership. Atari just recently announced a partnership with Unstoppable Domains. We're actually working on something like that because we find value in stuff like a gamer tag. I used to be a professional gamer. I really wanted my name to be known, because it's important as an esport. I think that's something that we want to strive towards as well as a good way to cross into the Atari side as well. Sorry, Yosef. I don't know how to turn on dark mode. Yeah, so you guys want to see some of the screenshots again? Yeah, I wish I could show more, but I feel like I'm just giving away so much stuff that Daniel doesn't want me to show you guys. It's like millions of pages long, guys. So like, yeah, there's like bleed and debuff. Not all these things are gonna make it into the game. There's just so many that he brainstormed and wanted that that takes more and more development time. I can show you a bit about the anatomy. This is an old UI that we were talking about how we were brainstorming like normal to magic to rare legendary. We ended up not using any of this. It's a shame because I thought this is kind of really cool. Legendary looks so legendary here. Some of the balance. I don't think we ever used this either. This is something that Momo mocked up. Yeah, so these are the attributes, prefixes, legendary. Yeah, you can see we actually went way beyond where we start talking about Gen 2. Again, nothing might actually, you see here, might not be made in. So these are some of the attributes that we created before for our series. We obviously took some of these out, you can tell. Anyway, so maybe some spoilers here for stuff that we're thinking about. Oh, I don't think I'm going that way.
This is something I did with Daniel. Every single thing was made like manually. These weren't randomly generated. We put a lot of thought into literally, cause every single thing you see is, yeah, definitely a labor, a very intensive labor of love. And yes, brainstorming finance for sure.
I missed any other questions? I think I got everything.
Whiskey Tango asking what's the strongest shell?
Oh, it's hard to tell. There was like some really epic ones, like the temple ones I think are really cool because they're so big. Yeah, there's one that I mocked that didn't make it in called the Holy Temple. You might still see it in some of the mocks, but imagine like an Amuro so big that it carries like the cathedral, the cathedral on its back. That's kind of like how we were thinking about. Oh yeah, this Gate of Hell didn't actually make it into, but it was pretty cool. Yeah, you might still see it maybe next season. Yeah, I'm impressed with some of these.
Oh.
No one has Gates of Hell yet, but they might come out later on. I really love the wood ones too. Carnivora was so interesting. Definitely think about like Mario. Who knows? Maybe Frosty is the best. Frosty is the funniest, my opinion. The way
It's
he's positioned.
It's also so random. It's just like his belly sticking forward. Like it's it makes me so happy.
The Pong pieces are also important. We might have some special, sorry, not Pong, Atari ones. They offer a really cool collab between Atari, so they might have some secrets there.
Yosef is asking if we'll be able to change the Animora attributes like shell, claws, feet, etc.
Yosef, yes, that's what we're building right now. So stay tuned to learn more how that's going to happen. Something really cool that I can share today is that I've been working with OpenSea. You can tell that like we've made the front page of OpenSea. We were like verified as soon as we want. So we have a direct line with them. So it might be some really cool stuff that we can work with OpenSea to make this process a bit easier for people. So yeah, there's some really cool ideas that we're collaborating with them on that right now. I think you're wanting to see the simulation again. Yeah, the simulation's so cool.
Questions. Can you have a house inside the shell?
Your shell is your house. That's what hermit crabs are, right? They're hermits.
Important questions. Important questions.
Let's turn off paying player and simulate this on that again. Actually, wonder if I can simulate this. I guess 50. Yeah, whatever. What's your opinion to make the game time proof? I'm not sure what that means. I think like last a long time. Yeah, so we don't want to be so dependent on the token price. I think that's what we're trying to achieve. Like, you can see that more people play Axie when a smooth love potion is worth a lot. When it's low, less people play it. We want to get people in at a fair price and maintain that. We want to have that reasonable expectations to keep growing. We also have a lot of seasons of lore being planned out, as I hinted out earlier. Yeah, so I think I went through the whole process of free player. So they didn't make very much this one. 28 losses, 3 days. Let's reset that again. Paying player. When Starfish utility. So stay tuned on the Sunday, that's October 2nd, to learn a bit about the Starfish formula, how we planned and worked it into the system. It's so fun playing this, and like you can see like what you've earned. Like all we need to do is just put this like on chain, and it's kind of like a fun game already with the simulation. Yeah, so this guy, after doing his 50 runs, he won the game 2 times, and now like every time he plays, there's a 79% chance of getting past the first stage instead of 60%, and the total win rate, it goes up on all fronts.
Asking if you can give characters nicknames or change the names.
Yeah, we chose a lot of. It is actually, it's possible, but we spent a lot of time like naming the Animura. The naming of the Animura, by the way, Laura, it might be interesting for you and Daniel to know, is that's not on chain. The names are off chain, so it makes it actually easier for us to change the names. Yeah, Ludin.
Okay, definitely gets my gears turning. That's really cool.
Yeah, the titles and stuff inside the names. Kind of my intention was to earn titles. Like maybe if you beat the boss like 10 times, you get like Boss Slayer or something. That can actually change in the NFT. That's some stuff that we definitely built out. Yeah. So what's the meaning of boss battle? Boss battle is making it all the way to the end of the run, getting it to the boss. You're not gonna be able to get to the boss in every single play you make. So getting into the boss guarantees you like something if you beat the boss. That's how this is modeled right now. That doesn't mean you don't earn like along the way here. Just that the boss is important. we have like lore built around the bosses that change per season. So that's gonna be really interesting to see when you encounter the first boss. Is it possible to customize our own dungeon in the future? Believe it or not, I've been talking to Zedrun about these type of integrations. I can't reveal too much about that. We want to make this game like very like growth based in terms of like getting our developers to work on other things. We want this to be a franchise like Pokemon, where Animura, this one game is just one thing, but there'll be other like games in this feature, this franchise. There's already a few other things that you can do to earn NFTs. I missed the question earlier about Shell. Shell will also play a role in these equipment NFTs as well. We're modeling out how that looks like. There might be a way to get Shell other ways as well. Those are types of things that we are building out in the very near term, like before the end of the year. Will we be able to see the win rate before fighting? No, so this is kind of behind the scenes of like how we're modeling it. This is actually how how we're modeling it behind like in the database and everything. But yeah, expect it to be similar to this formula. We want this to also be very strategic. So depending on what equipment NFT you get, what card you get, can also impact the win rates. But on statistical average, this is how much it should increase by each NFT you get.
Question right now while we wait for other people to ask. So a lot of the community members have been asking about summoning. So what's the deal with summoning? Why October 5th? Is that something that you just want to touch on real quick?
Yeah, so summoning is the way Anmura gets spawned into the game. The Mystery Bull is our first factory NFT, so I'm confirming that today. That is something that will produce more NFTs and other stuff. Starfish also plays a role into that. You guys can assume what you want. On Tuesday, we'll tell more about that. I've kind of revealed like so much about it, but I just want to repeat in case you guys came later. But I'm also toying with the fact that the Anamura Genesis collection is extremely valuable. It's the only time you can get it is before October 5th. If any other NFT comes out after that, it's not going to be a Genesis one. So Genesis can also potentially earn other NFTs. You need it to play in this game. As well, I know a lot of people are asking what if you have multiple NFTs, like multiple Anamura? How can you play together? We're actually thinking about that right now too. Right now, this experience is modeled after just one Anamura that you own, but yeah, we do care about multiplayer, being able to work together in the team to get as far as you can, having PvP and guild versus guild action. Those are types of things that we want to bring forth with owning multiple Anamura.
WhaleDrop has been recording this, so we'll be sharing this with the community for those that missed it. Again, we really do want to give everyone a chance to educate themselves and provide as much information as we possibly can within the constraints that we can. Obviously, there are things we can't say, unfortunately. I know it really drives the community crazy, but we're doing everything we can for you guys.
Yeah, we have a legal team, guys. Keep in mind that we're over 100. We're very public. Everyone knows our face. We don't want to get the SEC on us, and yeah, we deal with all that. There's a lot of other companies that don't exist, officially or in their Cayman Islands. We're not really like that, so it makes it a bit harder for us.
So that transnational constraints that we also have to be in mind of, where we, in terms of timings, what the legal implications are for jurisdictions around the world. So that's all the stuff that we have to take into consideration every time we, release a collection. We have to, keep up to date legally to what the legal landscape is saying. So again, it is a lot of behind the scenes work that we're still doing. It's not just drop a collection and yay,
Yeah. Thanks so much for everyone coming out. It's a lot more people than I would think, considering how much time we gave you guys. But really excited to try to make the best game that we can for you guys. I just saw a question from Jesse Liang in general. What happens to the old replaced equipments? Can we sell them? Yeah, so we talked about that today, me and Gwen on the development side. So because the Animera NFTs are like generate the attributes on chain, so Animera is an on chain NFT. We can't actually change the attributes that were spawned on, but we can change the attributes that how they visually appear. So one thing that I'm going to give another secret spoiler is that NFTs, our Animeras, have backpacks. They can carry items.
I'm dropping all the spoilers. Chono is asking, can they see the demo on a
Yeah, I really wish I could, but not yet. There's tons of screenshots. I think the card placing is like the best one. Did someone say something? I guess they muted. Yeah, I guess like we should talk more about the backpack later. It's so cool right now that this vision that me and Quinn have for it. It's going to be very different. Like a lot of NFTs just can earn. Like I'm looking at there's an NFT collection called the Furballs. They have backpacks too, but the way they do it, it's not as scalable as the way we're thinking. So very excited about that.
It is so much cooler. I can't stop saying that because like we took a look at it today in our meeting, and man, so cool.
Hey, I'm just curious. Can you guys hear me at all?
Yeah, loud and clear.
Oh, nice. Hey, no, I've been listening and watching, and this is absolutely amazing. And I came on before, and there was it looked like an image or a gameplay or video of an individual or a character walking around in what looked like a cave. What was that? Was that part of the demo that you guys kicked off with?
This is actually a different game called Loop Hero. Um, it's
Okay.
it's a very like a game that's like very inspired. Anime was very inspired by this game, the way it plays. Um, it's not
Okay.
an NFT game at all. It's more of a strategic indie game that hit the charts. So we got really excited to be trying to borrowing some of the mechanics, creating our own spin to it.
Nice. Okay. No, I just wanted to get, I jumped in and saw that, didn't know the explanation. I just thought it looked pretty cool because it reminded me of old school, like, love me some Zelda, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And, no, I appreciate you guys and the team. Awesome job. Look forward to it and, on the journey.
Oh my goodness, thank you so much. We love you too.
So Renato asked like if Corruptions inspired the Mystery Bowl, and yes, Corruptions is a really awesome collection that was on OpenSea. It's made by Dom, and I'll be writing a post about that. So the way that Corruptions works is like they have an element called Insight, actually very similar to Starfish. We brought a lot of elements from that, and this NFT kind of changes the way it looks based on Insight, and then you can also change and choose the PFP you want from Insight if you were following the events. So it's a really cool inspiration. There are some elements that we took from it, and yeah, very very excited. I'm actually one of the first community moderators of this collection because I was really intrigued by the code, and it was kind of meant as a mystery too. So we just wanted to take some elements from this that we could leverage into a different way. Cool. I think we're just about out of time. If there's any last questions, I'm happy to answer them.
Hey, Long, this is Whiskey again, if you don't mind.
Yeah, go ahead.
Hey, so curiosity, you guys are the ones that brought me into with the bee bots, right? So that seems like a pretty cool project. Any future plans on bringing that into the space?
Yeah, so I'm friends with the developer there, SB. He's I really like the concept of CC0, which is the ability to let you use Creative Commons. Um, I really like the fact that, for example, you can take a Bbot, integrate it, make your own game out of Bbots, and they won't, you won't get sued for it. You can make money off their name. They give an example of Alice in Wonderland as something that's, you can make your own Alice in Wonderland movie because there's no creative licensing around that. So we're talking about like some of those avenues right now. They are great developers, and they might actually be helping us build some of the really cool NFT mechanics along the lines of Creative Commons, such as like equipments that we're thinking. So there's some really cool partnerships that we're thinking along that technical front. It might not be exact Bbots integration, but we're working with that team. They also have Seth Green, a really cool famous actor that's in really really cool shows, and I love like Robot Chicken. So yeah, happy to have a Hollywood connection through them as well.
No, hey, I appreciate that, Long.
Green was also shows of all time, Buffy the Vampire Slayer. If you know what that is, you are awesome. But yes, he was also in Austin Powers. He's the voice of, can't remember his name, in Family Guy, and
I think it's Brian.
just like a, there we go, Brian. Is it Brian? Yeah, it is Brian. And just like
Can't hardly wait was a huge one.
yes, can't hardly wait. Thank you. Just like a lot of like, yeah, being like, you know, as young as I am, I loved. Yeah, he was a bit of a teen heartthrob back in the day, but he's also just like
Oh,
a
it's
really
so
cool
fun.
dude.
Yeah, so I'll just answer that. Solarians, we were considering Solana before as well. We have some strong connections on the Solana side. It might be something in the future, but yeah, that's all I can share about that. All right, thanks so much for joining, guys. It was a great chat.
Yeah, for joining. Stay tuned next week for our other AMAs with VHS co-founder Chris Ebbs. Again, we're also doing one with Aaron in the next couple of weeks to discuss the sustainability angle. So we really are trying to, keep you guys in the loop, keep you guys educated, but also teach you new things. And I hope you were able to learn today.
Hey, outstanding. Appreciate you guys.
Bye, everyone.